Cebuano Lesson 5, Existential Verbs. This is going to be a pretty packed lesson as these words are frequently used, so I'm going to try to speak a little bit fast here. In English, to be and to have are treated as two different words, but in Cebuano, they are used as one word. To help you understand this, try not to think of to have and to be as separate verbs, but rather as one verb meaning to exist. For example, in English, you would say, there is a car. In Cebuano, you would say, a car exists. Now the same applies for the sentence, I have a car. In English, it's, I have a car. In Cebuano, it would translate to, a car exists by me. Now, notice that by including a personal pronoun, it denotes ownership of the object, thus, to have. Here are two examples of the above sentences in Cebuano. Dunay kutsi. There's a car. Dunakoy kutsi. I have a car. Existential verbs. There are 5 existentials in Cebuano, with each one having a slightly different role. The existentials are duna, naa, tua, may, and wala. The most frequently used are duna and naa and wala. Duna and naa are the basic existentials that you should know. These are used frequently and denote there is, there are, to be present, to exist, or to have. Now remember, these are used the most, so focus on these for now. Wala is the last existential, which actually denotes the non-existence of something. This is also frequently used. It's actually the negative form of duna and naa and all the other existentials. Tua is the existential that is used when something exists that is distant away from the speaker and listener. May is the existential that is similar to naa, but has specific usages. You may frequently see it paired with the preposition sa, as in, Nikita kog itlog sa may kusina, denoting where the kitchen is. Duna and naa. There are 3 usages for these two words, and most of the time can be used interchangeably. The meanings of these words convey there is, there are, to be present, to exist, and to have. Dictionary forms for these are pagduna and anaa. Anaa is the only irregular dictionary form, I believe. Now, when used in sentences, these words drop their dictionary prefixes and are used as is. They do not take on any other prefixes. To denote past or future, temporal phrases are used instead of adding prefixes to the verbs. Here are 2 examples. Gahapon, dunay duha ka buok ka manok dinhi. Natay eskwela ugma. Duna and naa can be used to express there is and there are. So here are 2 examples. Naay tubig? Naa. Dunay tulo ka tao dito? Duna and naa can be used to express to have. Simply use a pronoun directly after the existential word and move the y ending from the existentials to the pronouns. Here are 2 examples. Nakoy tulo ka bata. Naara siya'y duha ka pultahan sa balay. Notice that there is a y postfix when duna and naa are being used. It is an irregular form of ang, which is used in these existential types of sentences. To reiterate, the only difference between to exist and to have is that the y postfix is affixed to the existential verb, causing a meaning of existence, whereas the attachment of y to the pronoun causes a meaning of possession. The y postfix is very important and must be used, or else the sentence will sound a little bit off. If there is no predicate in the sentence, the y is not used. Here's an example comparing it. Naamoy unggoy? Naamo? Wala. Anywhere duna and naa is used to denote existence, wala can be used in its place to mean non-existence. It is the negative form of duna and naa, but also has other meanings. Like duna and naa, wala needs to take on the y postfix if used in a sentence. Also, if there is no predicate, the y postfix is not used. Here's 2 examples. Walay kutsi dere? Wala kay kwarta? Here are two more examples comparing duna and naa with wala. Dunay daghang babae dire? Walay daghang babae dire? Naa sila'y daghang libro? Wala sila'y daghang libro? Wala can be shortened to wa using the L drop rule. Tu'a. This is a variation of duna and na'a and conveys the meaning of to exist or to have, but somewhere that is distant to the speaker and the listener. A rough translation for this would be, over there. Here are two examples. Ang imong mga butang, tu'a ni Jed. Tu'a dito. When used with pronouns or names, be sure to use the accusative case with tu'a. Tu'a niya. Tu'a ni Maria. Mai. Relatively the same meaning as duna and na'a, it can be used to replace duna and na'a when the topic of the sentence is not readily visible or has not yet come into view of the speaker or listener. Here are three examples. Sa may kutsi. The car is not readily visible, and the location isn't really known. Mupadong mi sa may suba. The river has not yet come into view and has not yet been reached. May kutsi siya. I haven't seen it yet. Supposedly there is a car. Now, feel free to leave comments if you have any questions or send me a message. Thanks for watching. Salamat.